Hello children, I am Muktilal Bandod. Welcome you to watch this video. I am from Macrovision Academy, Burhanpur. Today we are going to see the second chapter from the book First Flight, Nelson Mandela, Long Walk to Freedom. This is an autobiography of Nelson Mandela. My dear children, we see our country also was ruled by British for more than 200 years. So many freedom fighters fought to get the freedom and finally we got it. We see Mahatma Gandhi, one of the freedom fighters who fought, and because of him we got the freedom. In the same way, for South Africa also Nelson Mandela was like Mahatma Gandhi. Nelson Mandela has become South Africa's first black president after more than 3 centuries of white rule. Mr. Mandela's African National Congress party won 252 of the 400 seats in the first democratic elections of South Africa's history. Dear friends, now let me tell you about the author Nelson Mandela. Nelson Mandela was a great hero who gave freedom to the blacks in South Africa. He was born on 18 July 1918 in the village of Mawezo in Umtata, then a part of South regime of South Africa which believed in racialism. He spent more than 30 years in South Africa's prisons. He became the first black president of South Africa when his party came to power in democratic elections in 1994. This passage forms a part of this autobiography of Nelson Mandela titled Long Walk to Freedom. It is a saga of the glorious struggle that the blacks of South Africa waged against the apartheid regime to gain freedom. Now, dear students, let me tell you the theme of the story. The lesson pays tribute to those black heroes and patriots who waged a relentless struggle against the apartheid or the racist regime of South Africa. Here we find a description of the inauguration ceremony held in the Union Building, attended by politicians and dignitaries from more than 140 countries. Nelson Mandela gives a message of peace and unity of mankind. He foresees a new regime which will be based on the equality of men and women. He hopes that in the new regime there will be no exploitation of men by men. There will be no room for racialism and segregation in the new order. Now, my dear friends, let me tell you what happens on this day. The day was 10th May 1994. The inauguration ceremony of the first non racial government was held in the Union Buildings in Pretoria. Politicians and dignitaries from more than 140 countries attended the ceremony. Nelson Mandela was then sworn in as the President of the Republic of South Africa. For decades, South Africa had been the seat of white supremacy. The blacks were considered as outlaws. Their victory over apartheid was a common victory for justice, peace, and freedom. Nelson Mandela was overwhelmed with a sense of history. The society based on racial discrimination was the harshest and most inhuman society in the world. The decades of oppression and exploitation of the blacks produced heroes like Thembas, Sosulu, and others in South Africa. Mandela learned the meaning of courage from such brave comrades who were ready to sacrifice their lives for the freedom of their people. Then Mandela says that every man has twin responsibilities towards his family and for his people and country. If any black tried to live like a free human being, he was punished and isolated from his family and community. This kind of problems he had to face many times. Nelson Mandela realized that not only he but his brothers and sisters were deprived of freedom. His desire for the freedom and dignity of his people made him a rebel. He realized that freedom is invisible. Afterwards, then he promised his country people that they will take care of their country's freedom and never let the country go into other countries' hand. Thanks for watching the video. See you soon in the next video.